running out of memory on the last video. I'm wanting to help myself to process through this, so I don't feel like I'm leaving here without having processed. You know, I don't want to just like jump, shift, like through time and space, like this big warp. Like I want to be able to do it consciously. So, I was saying that I feel like I came from this place of gratitude, because that's what was in alignment with me when I first got here to this farm. And then I was just, you know, I was healing, I was watching, I was observing, and I started, it became not in alignment, because like I was doing better, and I was able to be like, hey, this, like I have different capabilities now, I have different wants and desires now. I have, like, I'm regaining myself back, like I'm remembering myself and who I am and what I'm about. And so I'm just gonna have to not not be within this system anymore, like just like a peaceful protest, like being like, and it's not this farm personally, you know, it's any system that's within this infected, like mass scale, everything's codependency, mass scale. And, it's these ways that we're treated to interact, with the structures around us, to remove from ourselves the memory that we have this internal power. You know, I want to discover ways of community that are aside from any hierarchy, and that doesn't, you know, hierarchy meaning like having to like placate people, having to like not being able to be honest with emotions, with our desires, for fear of retribution, for fear of things being taken from us. You know, that scarcity paradigm, I'm just not messing with it anymore to the greatest degree possible. I'm observing where it comes into play and being like, I want to remove myself from that. I want to feel everything from the heart. So the reason why I'm wanting to hike the Appalachian Trail is because through that, through this, I feel like I'll be able to, for one, quit smoking. You know, I have like all of this. I've been able to feel my body again. For a long time, my body was extremely numb, and I'm able to feel it again. And I can feel that I have all this swelling in like my cheeks and in my what's it called, like lymph nodes in here, and it's from smoking way too much. You know, chain smoking for a long time, and so it'll be a wonderful atmosphere for me to be able to let the tobacco go, for me to just be able to focus on self-care, self-love, self-regulation, connecting with the divine within, connecting with the divine. By within, I mean like through everything that I'm processing, just like remembering to always come back to the heart chakra and feeling that energy and processing from that place, instead of this habitual processing from the ego, from the intellectual. Because like I feel like it's like the ego is always processing, you know, we can trust it. Like the ego is not evil. Like trust your ego. It's processing everything. It's sacred. It's the processing unit, the divine granted to us, but most of it happens subconsciously, you know. And when we try to force like our decisions, who we are, what, like how we conceptualize our narrative, when we try to like force that to be conceptualized through the intellect, rather than allowing that part of the ego to take care of itself subconsciously, like trust the divine to, like, you know, like we're downloading the divine is going to process that. I just want to be able to learn to use my ego and my intellectual capacity, the thought, words. You know, I want to use this in ways that are I can feel in my heart chakra, that I always know that I'm echoing my deepest desires and a gradually more true expression of my divine self. And I, you know, this is but on the trail, you know, I'm thinking like every 5 to 7 days or so, like I'll be able to go into the trail towns. I'll be able to eat fresh food, rest for a few days. I just want to go slow. I want to be self-regulating. I want to know myself. Like I want to know like I'm like I am the joy and bliss that's like creating all these wonderful, lovely, beneficial things for myself, instead of feeling like I'm nothing and I have to depend on everybody for everything. I used to have this really strong sense of love and self, like and I've totally lost it. I became totally I you know, I sacrificed that. I guess in the end it was just like an experiment that I like subconsciously wanted myself to undergo, to be able to prove to myself like this is why you gotta love yourself, you know, like this is what's gonna happen to you. This is the downward spiral that will proceed if you don't retain this this heart centeredness. So yeah, I'm excited to be. I'm excited and intimidated. It's you know, that's why I'm sitting in here making these videos for myself to help process this, because you know the divine is still sending me all this information. The divine is like I feel like I'm like at this place where I can like remember more often. I'm able to like watch the patterns and be like, hey, like I'm in my heart more often. But you know, there's no limit to which we can love ourselves, and I'm still at a point where I don't feel secure and abundant in what I'm creating for myself, and I feel like through also being on the trail, like I'll be able to know who I am, so that I can enter relationships, any kind of relationships, with this this just like supreme honesty. And you know, if you can't be honest about who you are to others can't trust you. You can't trust yourself. You don't love and trust and respect yourself, that can't be felt from others. Like it might be like this like fake, like the intellectual like playing tricks on you. It's like, oh, they're giving me attention, oh, they're giving me physical things to like protect me, when like we can like gain these like physical things we want ourselves. It's just like, you know how codependency is, you know how it is. It's a cycle that we're all learning to break out of. But I feel like I'm starting to be walking on top of the bubble, or my head is like above the bubble more often, when before I was just like tumbling in like this like hurricane bubble zone. Sometimes I'd find the center of that hurricane, but it was mostly just like feeling totally out of control and confused within that bubble. And I want to keep on this this pattern. I'm like, okay, I'm doing something right. I'm listening to the divine. Just always come back to that. Just still the mind, surrender and listen.